they really trying to get me to believe in this project, McMillian. They're really trying to get me to believe in this project.
I see. You know, one thing. I saw the video where they did the announcement. Hats off to the
Mm-hmm.
marketing team, because even I, who am not like a super One Piece fan, was like, That's pretty cool."
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining today's meeting. I'm Ace and McMillian, and this is the Gurren Otaku Council podcast, and this is episode 53, where today we'll be talking about the Anime Expo 2023 that's currently going on now, but stay tuned for the rest of today's agenda. And of course, before we get into all that, if you would like to join me and my friend McMillian as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on our social media, and so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. And with that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back. How you doing today, McMillian?
I'm doing great, sir. How about you?
I'm doing good. Alrighty. So we're gonna do something a little bit new today, everybody. A new segment where we're gonna be briefly going over the agenda, the full agenda item. What we're gonna be talking about, for today's episode. For today's agenda is we're gonna be going over council announcements. After that, we're gonna hop into some Anime Expo 2023 news, but just day one news only because the convention is still going on now currently. Then after that, we're gonna be giving out our weekly recommendation, and then we're going to be ending it off with our review of the Witch from Mercury finale. Can't believe it. The finale. Yes, the finale. And all right. So with all that being said, we're going to hop straight into some council announcements here. We just want to let everybody know that our last episode where we talked about our underrated spring shows from the spring 2023 season, as well as what we're looking forward to from the up and coming summer 2023 season, is now up live on your favorite audio platforms as well as YouTube. So please go and check that out, as well as also, what's that, McMillian? Oh, new cover art. Who is this? Look at that. Yes. Yeah. The Gurren Otaku Council unveiling our new cover art, courtesy of Grandmaster Hanzo. Anything else you want to speak on this, McMillian?
Yeah, sure. I hope you guys like it. I personally think it's a really good cover art. It helps capture our, whole student council vibe we got going on here. And as well, this is also the person who made our logo. So he does really good work. Please do check him out. Let him know if you have any graphic design wants or needs, and they'll hook you up. Yes. Obviously, he does good work. So, friend of the pod,
Correct. All right. So, yes, thanks once again to our friend Grandmaster Hazo for doing our new cover art for our podcast. So you can look at it, find it on all the audio only platforms there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so his the link to his IG page will be in the description if you guys want to go check his page out and go show him some love. And with that, all that being said, that is the end of the council announcements, everybody. And we just hop in straight into GLC News, your weekly source for the latest anime news. So let's get into it. All right, everybody. So today, the main source of news we're going to be talking about today is the Anime Expo Day 1, if you will. But before we get into that, we want to go over some quick announcements unrelated to Anime Expo. So really quick, all of these shows got announced for their season 2, both Mashle, Hell's Paradise, and Oshinoko. So once again, these shows were announced for season 2. That is Mashle, Hell's Paradise, and Oshinoko. Mm-hmm. And then we got some Naruto news here. Oh, you want to talk about this, McMillian?
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me take over.
You got it.
We also got some new Naruto news. There's an animation project for the 20th anniversary that's scheduled to come out September 3rd. And then we also have the one shot by Mashikimoto about the Great Fourth Hokage, which will release on July 16th, 2023. So do be on the lookout for that. Naruto fans should be interested.
Yep, I agree. Especially the animation project, because they haven't really gave us too much details about what they're going to be doing for this animation project. This was announced back during the with the 20th anniversary for Naruto and all that. So now we got the release date for that little short animation project. So I'm excited to see what it is.
Yeah, same.
All right, so now let's hop into some Anime Expo news here, and we just want to remind everybody that this is just the day one news. The anime convention is still going on now, as well as this is not all the news from day one. This is just, in our opinion, the biggest news from the day one, as well as the stuff that just we care about personally as well.
Highlights, if you will. Brought
Yeah,
to you by
there
Ace and
you go.
McMillian.
So yes, if you want to know, check out the rest of the news and stuff that Anime Expo is out there. There's many links and articles that you guys can go look up and go check out. So yeah, I just want to reiterate that this is not a full list of everything that was showing off during yesterday.
Mhm.
But alrighty, so let's go ahead and start this off. So actually, this first piece of news is something we actually talked about last week. Not last week. Was this last week? Yes, last week in our episode actually of from one of our upcoming shows we wanted to talk about. Zom 100. They showed off a new teaser trailer at Anime Expo, and didn't get a chance to fully check it out yet. But from the short glimpse of what I did see, it looks pretty good.
Oh, that's good to hear. I haven't been able to look at it much either. Is it out online or is it still like?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Okay,
yeah, no, it's on YouTube.
So yeah. It's good to hear because I know a lot of people are looking for it. Not just us. There's a lot of people looking forward to it. So it's nice to hear that there's now some visual stuff that we can look at from it too. So good.
I agree with that. Also, the Imminence and Shadow season 2, they showed the world premiere was premiered at Anime Expo's episode 1. A lot of good reviews for everybody. Everybody knows hype for it and everything. So a lot of high praise rather for it. And so it seems like we are in good hands. And I'm just really waiting on my 86 season 2 announcement. Where we at? Any place? What are we doing?
It's good to hear. The one that Eminence and Shadows is continuing. As a person who loves the manga and then loved what they did with the adaptation, I'm really looking forward to just seeing what they bring as far as like season 2 is concerned.
Yeah.
And then so the 86 comic. Yes. What are we doing? I'm this close to supporting the light novel.
Don't do it just yet. I'm with you though, but just listen. Just hold off. All right. And also another fun little fact about Eminence and Shadow. They also came out and mentioned that it's the most viewed show on High Dive currently.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense to me. I think out of the stuff that they have right now, besides Oshinoko, this is probably would be the most popular thing. So
yeah, so that's pretty cool. So shout out to Eminence and Shadow. Definitely go and check that out. We did a review of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely go and check that out as well. But moving on from there, I'll let you do this one, McMillian, since I'm pretty sure you're excited for this news.
Yes. So Gundam Witch of Mercury ended like this morning, and we already have news of the next series, Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. Don't know if this. I don't know if this is a continuation. It seems to be a brand new project, but it is going to be produced in Unreal Engine 5, which I am very interested about.
I think it's So you know what I always. So I've always said like I would like to see anime like based off like like video game animation, because like sometimes video games and the animations and stuff like they be cutting up. A prime example, the new Final Fantasy that just dropped, cutting up with their action sequences and stuff like that. So I was just always thinking like it would be cool to see just like a full anime with something like this one day. But now that it's finally got announced, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, are they actually doing it?
It's interesting because I saw when I saw it on the article, I was like, what does this mean? Like I was like, is it going to look like regular anime? Is it going to look more akin to video game style? I'm very interested to see like what the engine it's produced in how it will affect the animation.
Yeah, I mean, they picked a good engine. Unreal Engine 5 is. You can do some crazy stuff with their new engine. Like Epic really showed out with Unreal Engine 5. So I'm definitely excited to see what they come up with, especially after just watching Witch From Mercury. I'm definitely excited for this new Gundam project. It's like you just said, Witch From Mercury just ended, and we already got the next Gundam project announced. It's crazy. Once again, 86. Where we at? What we doing? Come on now.
Please, I need to.
And all right, so next up we got some Netflix news, Netflix/One Piece news. So they came out and they revealed that the original voice actors from the anime is coming to do the Japanese dub for the live action. which I think
Yeah.
is pretty damn cool. They really trying to get me to believe in this project, McMillian. They're really trying to get me to believe in this project.
I see. I see. You know, one thing, I saw the video where they did the announcement. Hats off to the
Mm-hmm.
marketing team, because even I, who am not like a super One Piece fan, was like, that's pretty cool that they had the two Luffy's
Yeah.
talking to each other and then like doing his saying. I was like, that's really cool. But not only that, like, I really feel like they did a great job with casting. As far as like the
Yeah.
show is concerned, if there's anything I don't have worries about, this is the people that they have right now playing the characters. I'm still on the fence, just as a person who's been burned by live action adaptations.
like I said before, like you just mentioned, we've been burned a lot by live actions. But after I saw the trailer, I was like, I really don't know how to feel about it. But it has this little uncanny little vibe to it that I'm somewhat vibing with, but still. And then they're coming out with news like this, you know, bringing back bringing the original voice actors to do the Japanese dub. It's just like they're trying to make me believe. They're trying to make me a believer, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I mean, they're doing it. I'll say this: they're doing a great job as far as like showing that this project has love in it, and that's a big step in the right direction. Because I would hate for like, for instance, something that I really enjoy to like get announced for like a any type of adaptation, and like you get videos
yes,
of, like the directors or somebody being like, I ain't never watched this show before, but I'm excited to
yeah, and then because it's like we're at the climax of the Wano arc right now, and then like the live action is gonna hit basically at the same time of the climax / the ending of this Wano, and it's just like I really don't want that to mess with with that. So just like the timing is also kind of crazy because it's just like, wow, we could have pushed this back a little bit.
just a bit.
But yeah, just a bit. But I will say I'm optimistic for it, for the live action series, and I will be checking it out. So I'm not totally just saying like it's gonna be bad, but I'm not saying it's gonna be great either. So I'm optimistic. So we'll see.
Yeah. We'll definitely hear. Look, if it's bad or good, you'll hear about it within like the first day.
Oh, you'll hear from me, all right? You gonna hear from me. Oh man. Oh, and actually, so this next piece of news, I thought this was interesting. So we got a new video game announcement, everybody.
Yeah.
JJK got announced for a new 3D arena fighter, a 2v2 at that arena fighter game, and they released a trailer for it. It doesn't look like, nothing we ain't never seen before. It looks very similar to, the Naruto Ninja Storm games, and maybe a little bit like the Dragon Ball games and stuff like that, but definitely the Naruto games.
Yeah. It definitely has the Storm-esque arena fighting style that, like, I'm pretty sure and if you're an anime fan and you look at the video games that everybody like has come to expect by now. But the interesting thing to me is the 2v2, which I don't know. I'm in my head. I'm like, that has to be co-op, right? That it can't be.
I would hope it is.
It's one person controlling two people. That's interesting. But I think it's funny because I think when this was announced, and I was online yesterday for a bit, looking at some of the news. When this got announced, somebody was like, honestly, it should be like a 3v1 or something because JJK, they always jump people. And I died laughing. And I was like, that'd be too accurate. But I'm very interested to see how popular this gets with it being the 2v2 aspect.
Yeah.
Because that as much as like this is reminiscent of other arena fighters, as we said, that is something that helps it stand apart from like a lot of stuff. And then I'm wondering how far it'll cover, considering we're on the cusp of JJK season 2. Like, it's around the corner. It's like next week.
Yeah, I was just about to say they did not mention like the extent of how far the story will cover. What all characters will get into the game. Stages, stuff like that. They didn't go into like deep details about it. It was just an announcement trailer and the only characters that did get revealed to be in the game is of course the main cast. Gojo, Itadori.
Nobara.
There you go, Megami, and there you go. There we go.
I mean, now granted, at the end of the trailer, they do show like I assume what is the box cover art, and it has the rest of the students of Jujutsu Tech on it.
Did I say Itadori? Is that man name?
Yeah,
it's Yuji, right?
Yeah, Yuji Itadori. I mean, Yeah,
Okay.
that's his full
Okay.
name.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
But they had. I was just saying on the box art, it seemed, or whatever art they showed at the end of the trailer had the rest of the students on it. So, I mean, you could
Yeah.
probably infer that the rest of Jujutsu Tech is at least coming. But I am
Yeah.
interested to see where the cutoff point is. Like, where do they stop?
I agree.
For the character.
In my opinion, I think because sometimes, like, basically this is how the Storm games did it. Like, sometimes they will go into the like manga content just like a little bit, but not too far. So like we might get just a tad bit of season 2 inside this, or if they don't do season 2, I could see them doing JJK Zero maybe as like DLC or something.
Yeah, I could see
or
that.
as a part of the story as well. But if they do season 2, I don't think they'll go like fully into it. I think you probably like just get like a little taste of it.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see that. I'm wondering what curses they'll put in besides like obviously Mojito and
that's a good question. Well, they didn't mention if curses was going to be available either though.
They gotta put curses in it.
Listen,
I mean, granted, I think what Demon Slayer's game came out with just the Demon Slayers, right? And then
Demon Slayers, everybody was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But then they had plans to add the demons in though.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe they'll add if they don't have the curses on release, maybe they'll add them later. But I can't imagine them not putting in at least like the ones a part of that group, basically. Like I could.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine either. But listen, I done seen weirder stuff. They could say it's like a JJK, school tournament style, fighting game. So it's only just characters from the school. Who knows?
That would feel.
We didn't get all those details. So don't be surprised if there's no curses in this game, McMillian. Now.
That would feel so weak. But hey, I guess.
Oh man, you want to take this next piece of news here?
So
actually, you want to go ahead and end this round us out with the news, rather?
Hey, I got you. So, we got like 2 more, but next is some news. So, if you remember on our previous episode, if you watched it, I mentioned being excited for a new Fate anime. Originally, it was only going to be 1 episode, but we have news that Fate Strange Fake Whispers of Dawn is getting a full TV anime adaptation at some point soon. Is it actually today?
Yeah, from what the article was looking to say, it was premieres today. I haven't went and like checked on the streaming services, nothing yet.
Apparently, I guess the special is launching the series. I did not realize that. Excuse me, but the special came out today. If you July 2nd, so by the time you guys watch this, it'll be like 3 days later.
Well, let me be clear. I don't know. Like if the special is gonna be connected to the TV series, like I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like if it's just gonna, when the TV series come out, they're just gonna continue, make the connection between the OVA and the new series. I don't know how that's gonna go. I just want to point that out.
Okay. No, I mean, no, it's good. It's good. It's covering bases.
I don't know if the OVA is indeed starting off the series.
Well, regardless, the OVA came out today. Which is Sunday. By the time you guys watch this, it'll be Wednesday. But just know that Fate Strange Fake, if you have watched the episode or haven't yet, is apparently becoming a series, and it launched today, July 2nd, in Japan. I guess, I'm assuming us in the West will continue to get it. I hope. That would suck if we only get the OVA and everybody else gets the series. But I'm looking forward to, as a Fate fan, I am looking forward to seeing what this will be about, and if it'll tie into either of the ongoing series, or if it's just going to be like a standalone, like Fate Apocrypha was, or one of those things.
Yeah, McMillian made me a Fate fan now, so I'm tuned in. I'm tuned in.
Now I gotta keep it up so people on the podcast are fans of Fate as well. Check it out, guys. Check it out. And then lastly, for the Anime Expo news that we are highlighting, Studio Trigger is re-releasing the Gurren Lagann movies in theaters, as well as bringing a revamping of it in DVD. So like 4K and Ultra HD is coming to the Blu-ray and DVD. But cool thing is Gurren Lagann is getting their movies re-released in theaters, and they are confirmed to be coming to the West at some point. They're re-releasing in 2D screening as well as 4D, and apparently we'll also be getting the 4D movies here in America. Don't know like
Okay.
where exactly, but we will be getting the 4D movies here. I just, for anyone who has not watched Gurren Lagann, that's crazy. That is insane because this is a mecha anime, and I can only imagine what they're going to do.
Well, go ahead and call me out then.
I don't know what they're going to do with 4D with it, but
I have not seen this series.
you gotta check it out. Part of our name, in my besides the fact that both me and you like the color red, which is what Gurren means, part of our name is inspired by this anime. Alex, you gotta check it out. It's great. But the movies, for those that don't know, the movies aren't like, you don't have to watch the series to watch the movie. The movies are basically just a packaged up version of the Gurren Lagann show.
The series.
So, yeah. Okay. So movie 1 covers the first half of the show, and movie 2 covers the basically all the way up to the end.
But I don't feel like I would get the full experience if I watch it like that though.
I mean, it depends. I feel like I don't know if I've ever watched an anime movie where it was like that in that format, but
I mean, well, the SAO movie is technically kind of like that. No, because they didn't do the whole first half. They did,
I was about to say, like, I watched
first 3 episodes, but then they came out with the second movie, and I'm not sure what all the second movie, because I haven't seen that one yet.
Neither have I. But it is. I guess you could probably relate to the only other anime movie that I watched like that was the why am I blanking? What is it? It's a really popular mecha.
Talk to us.
It's Evangelion. There we go. I was about to say.
Oh, okay.
I've watched the Evangelion movies, but the thing is, though, those movies
are
also,
those not only movies?
Huh? No, Evangelion is a series. You didn't know that? It's
a TV series. Yeah, I thought that was nothing but movies.
No, it's an old like anime. It's one of the classics. You gotta watch it too. It's confusing.
I never. I mean, yes, it was confusing. I just never knew it was a series. I thought it was just a movie series. I didn't know it was a TV series.
No, yeah, it's a TV series, but the thing with the movies is they're a retelling, but they also change stuff from the original show. So
that's crazy.
So that's the only like jumping point I have as far as like anime movies that are like that. But then again, they also changed the ending up in the 4th movie from how it ends in the regular anime. So, but regardless, Gurren Lagann's movies are basically just a packaged retelling of the show, and I highly recommend people check it out. Gurren Lagann is like in my top 10. It's it's my best friend's favorite anime. Tells a really good story, really great animation. It has an amazing message. So
it's crazy. This whole time I thought it was just a movie series.
You can, if you want to watch it. It's I believe you can find the original.
Would it not be on Crunchyroll?
It might be, but I do know it was on Netflix for a time as well.
Okay.
And I believe it still might be on there.
Okay. So are we talking like how old are we talking? Are we talking like Dragon Ball 90s old, or are we talking about the
maybe
80s
around
old?
Dragon Ball Z? I'm not 100% sure like what time frame, but it's not like too old. But it is older, like Cowboy Bebop, around the same time.
Okay.
I believe around the same time as that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just trying to see, what I'm getting myself into here.
Yeah, it could be a little bit earlier, but around that time frame. And then if you want to look up, I believe there is a watch order for Evangelion, like because they have.
It's another one of these fake Kingdom Hearts type stories
no.
going on.
A little bit, I guess, if you count like the old movies.
What's up? Talk to me. Don't you say it's either it is or it's not. Which one is
so it's weird because it has. So you have like the series, and then there's the movie, the end of Evangelion. So there's like the series, and then you watch that movie. From what I believe, and then the new movies are supposed to be something as well. They go into it. That's all the reason I said that.
So are the movies not an extension of the series?
The newer ones,
in terms of like,
the new ones are they're like a mixture of retelling of the show, but also like but also adding more content and kind of changing up how the ending went and other things like that. If you watch it, you've watched the new movies, right?
No.
No? Okay.
I just
but
said I've never.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you did watch the new movies. Okay.
No.
Okay. So Evangelion, it's so funny. I started this with Gurren Lagann. Now I'm talking about Eva. So Evangelion, the show, is like its own thing. And then you have the end of Evangelion, which is the end of the show. Then they came out with the re-movies, I believe it's what, or do not movies, whatever it's called. But they had.
I listen. Okay, I apologize. This is we going too deep here. I apologize. I just
He was fascinated, captivated.
Because I'm like, what is this man said is a TV. What is a TV series? I'm just thinking it was. Listen, this whole time I thought it was a movie series, but no, we're going too deep. I apologize. Went off on a small little tangent there, but that's everything for the Anime Expo news. All the highlights, if you will, from day one. In next week's episode, we'll be covering the rest of the highlights from day 2 and 3, and I believe 4 maybe as well, because it's supposed to be going on till July the 4th, and today's the 2nd. So
okay.
I'm not sure how much is actually going to be going on the 4th, but hey, we'll see. We will see. But regardless, though, in the next episode, we will be covering the rest of the highlights from Anime Expo 2023.
Yep.
Regardless. But all right, everybody. So moving on to our next agenda item, we're going to be giving out this week's weekly recommendation. And this is actually a pick from the spring season. And this is Dead Mount Death Play. For those who don't know, Dead Mount Death Play is isekai where we follow our main character, the corpse god, who one day gets reincarnated to another world after being defeated by the hero of his world. But once he gets reincarnated, he finds out that he was actually reincarnated to a body that was just recently murdered. So now he has to go about in Tokyo and try to understand this new world, and also find out who tried to kill the person of this previous body as well. So it's a isekai / murder mystery anime, and actually it also actually has some pretty decent action in it as well, and it really surprised me as one of my favorite shows from this season. So definitely go and check it out. It's a really good show.
Yes, I agree. Definitely check it out. If I had to just describe it with one word, reverse isekai, because it is in fantasy world coming to the real world, and then a whole bunch of wild shit happens, but it's a good time.
Yeah. It is a good time. And also another cool thing about this is technically the MC is quote unquote the villain of the show, but he's also the main character. So they also kind of throw a small little twist on that as well. But yeah, it's a nice show. So once again, this week's weekly recommendation is Dead Mount Death Play. Go check it out. But all right, now to head on to our last item on the agenda for today, everybody. Sad, very, very sad. The Witch from Mercury series. Yes, I said it. Series finale. Everybody, it's over. It's done. I'm actually really, really shocked and surprised that this was the series finale, not the season finale, because I expected more. But I will say I am happy. I'm going to get deep into it more. I am happy with how the show ended / the series ended, and I definitely hope we get one day maybe a sequel to the show. I don't know if there's already like a sequel manga or something, or light novel out there right now, but definitely, hopefully one day I hope we get a sequel to this, because one of my first, probably if not my first Gundam show, if I'm not mistaken, and it was really, really good.
So it is a shame that it is over. Most Gundam series, usually, only if I'm not mistaken, at least of the newer type, kind of only have one season. Sometimes you get 2, like Iron Blood Orphans. But it was good. Again, I caution Ace not to ask for a sequel, only because people ask for a sequel to Iron Blood Orphans if you get a mobile game, and it wasn't a good mobile game. So I can only imagine what they'll do with Witch of Mercury.
Well, listen, as long as all the old Gundam games used to go hard, so if they give me a game that like that back on the GameCubes and stuff, and even some of the ones that come out on PlayStation are decent. But definitely,
If it's a full,
like the old styles.
if it's a full game, sure. I just don't want it to be a mobile game again. But I do wonder if we'll come back to this Gundam at all and like tell more stories or anything like that, because they all happen in different universes, different timelines, stuff like that. But yeah, it's over. It's over, and what a fucking ride it was.
All right, so let's hop in here. So the series finale. So last time we talked about From Mercury, we were just mentioning how basically Suletta's mom was basically using Suletta. We found out she was not that great of a person, and she was using Suletta. But so after that, a lot of stuff went down after that though. Last time we spoke about From Mercury. So
we got to the point basically where you already had basically removed Suletta from the chessboard and basically was like, you don't got to deal with your mom no more. Let me handle that while I also try and take over my dad's company. And then we found out basically that she got fucked over by doing that, because Suletta's mom was like, cool, I have Ariel now and my other daughter, and so I'm about to fuck all this shit up. And she went and she fucking did a whole bunch of war crimes on Earth, killed a whole bunch of people, relaunched I forgot what the actual name of it is, but the Quiet Zero. I'm saying I think the ship or whatever has its own name as well. But regardless, the ship that they were on that
I think they just called it Quiet Zero.
I mean, I thought that was a plant name or something. But regardless,
no, you talking about Plant Quetta?
Yeah,
the plant that was destroyed.
Oh, is that not?
But I don't even think that was the plant from the prequel though. I think that was a separate plant. But Plant Quetta was the one where they got attacked at like a few episodes before.
Got it. Okay, I thought Quiet Zero was,
if I'm not mistaken,
the same thing. But we're here now.
No.
She found Quiet Zero, launched it, basically had her whole goon squad pilot.
I mean, well, it wasn't lost.
Huh? It was on Earth.
Quiet Zero wasn't lost.
I'm saying like it was on Earth, locked up, right? Wasn't that how she?
Was it on? Is that how the story? Well, listen, I don't recall Quiet Zero being on Earth. When we first saw it, it was already in space.
I thought so maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought like the reason she went on Earth, did all that shit, was to get like the original ship.
No, if I hold on, see now we so she went to Earth to destroy some Gundams to cover up their participation in some event that they had did or something like that.
You might be right, because I do remember that. So the Quiet Zero,
because remember she went to that bunker and destroyed all those Gundams.
Yes, yeah, but I thought that was a part of like in the ship or whatever.
And I think she was also doing that to cause strife between space and the Earth.
Yeah, but did she also launch some Gundams though that like started basically attacking the citizens?
I mean, she might have launched some Gundams from Earth, but if I'm not mistaken, Quiet Zero was already in space. I mean, because it was never lost. She was already working on Quiet Zero. Like she had it. It was never lost. How do you think she already had it? You think she went and hijacked it from the binary group? The binary group just let her take that when what already happened? Like, no.
Yeah, I thought she fought. I thought that like she went to Earth, did this shit, got this ship, and it was in space. But okay, apparently it was already out in space, and all she was trying to do was create that, I guess, that strife. That
the link. Now it was a piece that she needed. That it was on Earth, if I'm not mistaken. If I recall correctly, like something that she needed for Quiet Zero, but Quiet Zero itself wasn't on Earth.
Regardless, we're getting off track. I apologize, but
I mean, well, no, we're not getting off track. We're getting the lore correct. This is the finale. We're getting the lore correct.
But regardless, Quiet Zero got a whole bunch of shit popped off. Earth, a whole bunch of war crimes committed on Earth, and then as well, Gundams went haywire at the school, causing.
Oh, that shit was crazy.
Causing basically a whole bunch of kids to get killed. A lot of shit happened. Helped Suletta kind of get out of the whole "my mama's a saint" mode. It's kind of crazy.
Unfortunately, that had happened. But
we lost one of the Earthian Gundam pilots in probably the most despicably shocking way. My God! And then we had a 1v1 with Ghoul. Well, not 1v1, but a duel between Ghoul And
but after that, the kids in a small part of the Bennett group launch a plan to go and intercept Quad Zero. How the freak they pull this off is beyond me. But regardless, they hatch off this plan.
I'm gonna tell you one. It's 2 words. From Mercury. That's how they did it. Okay, that's the only way. If they didn't have her, they wouldn't have shit. Okay. The launcher's plan. They end up. Solida and Eri end up having a Gundam fight off, basically, and it ends with the remnants of, I forget their specific company name, but the one that's the one that's led by all the women, like they made
the guru.
Yeah, they made the Frecht. They got apparently a giant space laser, a mass destruction. They were like, look, we can't let Quiet Zero keep happening because
that was the quote unquote pale group in the space assembly, so it wasn't just the pale group.
Oh, and the space assembly, but they had a secret weapon that they disguised. Yeah, that they disguised as a satellite that was supposed to be for the benefit of everybody. But of course it's not. Of course not. When the government tells you that, it is always a giant laser. Just know. And they end up basically almost killing off. They almost end up stopping Quiet Zero, but Eri protected it with Ariel.
With her life.
Yeah, with her life. And then Suletta and her do some Gundam Quiet Zero magic after this and are able to shut it down.
Become one with the data storm.
Become one with the data storm. Able to broadcast the signal using 4 Gundams out, and we're able to disable all of the technology that was being used to basically launch that laser.
And also, just to remind everybody, the purpose of Quiet Zero was to essentially take over all of Earth's permits, all the permit system on Earth, so Eri can quote unquote be free.
Which basically from the episodes that passed, we realized permit scores are in a lot of shit that they probably should not be in. Like, for instance,
it's in all their technology basically.
I just remember the scene where they launched missiles, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it entered the data store, and that shit just did a 360.
Turned around.
And I'm like, a 180. And I was like, on the missiles? Just the missiles?
On the missiles.
Like,
on the missiles. Yep. We're using permalinks on the missiles. We're using permalinks for everything. Yeah, that's how bad this situation is.
So basically, Quiet Zero, if Quiet Zero had, maintained, it would have been able to take over basically everything.
Pretty much everything essentially.
So yeah, but luckily due to
so she says it's the quote unquote free area, but we don't know, like, as far as after she got control, she didn't get control, but if she would have got control of everything, what did she plan on being, like a dictator, or not even do anything, like, or she just would have been happy with the data storm being free, and really her job would have been just making sure nobody comes to destroy Quiet Zero.
Yeah, it would have definitely been interesting to see what would have happened. That's the season 2 right there. Is the what if she succeeded? What the fuck would that look like?
But let's get into, I guess, the last episode, just the ending engagement. So for a second there, I almost thought that they were saying that Soletta's mom was also Mirroring's mom, because of how when Mirroring was basically hacking into Quiet Zero's infrastructure, and she had that flashback of when Suletta was telling her about how her mom injected this secret code and whatever to the back end, all that stuff right there. And then she came, she was like, thank you, mom. And then she looked at Soletta's moms and all that, and she was like, we can be a family together. And I was like, is this no way, no shot this her mom? But thankfully that was cleared up at the end of this series. Okay, so that is not not her mom. That was not the case.
I was about to say, like, I didn't have that because I remember that Miorin's mother worked on Quiet Zero beforehand, so I just figured that was like Miorin's mother was like, just in case shit go crazy. This is my backup password to shut shit down. So
yeah.
That
Okay,
was a
then
tense scene. I'll just say that was
it was a tense scene. Yes.
But continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes, and then another thing I wanted to ask you was, that's the first thing I wanted to say. But one thing I did want to ask you was, how did you feel about, I guess, the final battle? Because once again, I was surprised. I was unaware that this was it. You know, this is the series finale. I was unaware. So how did you feel about the final battle?
Okay, I guess what are we constituting as the final battle? Are we
I guess the final battle will have to constitute technically Suletta versus Eri, and Suletta, I guess, versus the Space Assembly.
Okay. The Suletta versus Eri, that was great.
And I guess also technically the Earth group versus Suletta Mom, because they did, they were also having that fight on the inside of Quad Zero as well.
Yeah, so Gundam Inc. Versus Suletta's mother, I thought was pretty good. That was a nice stealth picture. Also, I can't remember his name, but the rich boy clone, I can't. I'm blanking. But
I'm gonna actually look that up because it's important here. I'm blanking too. I'm gonna look it up real quick. So keep talking.
Okay, but his gunplay, amazing. They would have died without him. That shit that he pulled off with throwing the clip, having the robot go after the clip, and then shooting both the robot and this Suletta's mother, amazing. No notes. I was like, perfect execution. That was great. I loved like how organized they were about that. Eri versus Suletta was everything I could have asked for. From a thing, because
Ellen, and the prince's name is Ellen.
Ellen was great in his final moments. I had no notes. He held it down like a motherfucker, because he pulled that gun out of nowhere, because that dude was like, I ain't giving the kid a gun, and he just was like, bitch, I got my own. I was like, yeah.
He pulled the gun out, and the old dude's like, where did you get that from? He's like, at this point it doesn't matter. And I was like, he's kind of right.
I was like, boy, I was like, we don't give kids guns, but we give them giant robots to kill each other. Okay, all right, cool.
Thank you. Like, come on now.
But that was great. Suletta versus Eri, in my opinion, was everything I could have asked for, because it was a straight Gundam fight, but Suletta really had to show just her skills as a pilot, as a Gundam, and also not only that, but maintain just being doing something she had never done before, which is interacting with the permit link system.
Without Eri's help.
Yeah, without Eri's help. And she was going through it, because the whole time she was in there, hyperventilating. You see her
going through it,
just being stressed, but she held off.
And even going through it, she went through it. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but she went through it.
Yeah, she held off the gun bits, the other Gundams that Eri was controlling within like the Data Storm space itself. It was great. It was beautiful. And then the Spatian conflict, them versus Eri and Suletta versus the Spatian group with
Space Assembly.
Thank you. It wasn't like a big fight, so I guess I can't say like what it had.
Yeah,
but I will say it for me, it was slightly anticlimactic, just a bit.
Yes. Just a bit, like you had mentioned, they did so well with the Suletta versus Eri fight, because it's not because I mean, even during their fighting, it's not like Eri is really trying to kill Suletta, because that's her sister. But she is trying to definitely stop Suletta though. So, but she's not trying to kill her though. So Suletta actually is having to try. Then, like you mentioned, already on top of handling the effects from the permit storm for the first time, because Eri is not there, to be her shield. And then, we get the Space Assembly pops up, and it's just like, oh shit, giant laser. Oh shit, y'all for real? Boom! They shoot the first giant laser. Oh my god, Eri's dead. Yeah. What is going on here? And then we see them there's like, okay, we gotta recharge. Send out the mobile suits. Sends out the mobile suits. but we never see any conflict between even like people from the Benner group between the Space Assembly and their mobile suits. We don't see any of that. So I'm just like, what was the point of sending out the mobile suits?
For them to get turned into rainbow micro nanobot thing.
I mean, but that happened at the very, very end. But like they've been sent out the mobile suits, and I'm just like, we're not just gonna. Yeah, I mean, like, so I do understand. Like at the end, technically, yes, they all would have got deactivated by the big blast. But I'm talking about before then. So we just didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see no mobile suit action for our last episode.
Yeah, and to be honest, what can I say? This episode, is a great finale. I don't want to say like it's bad or anything, but that
no, it's not bad. But
that part, I definitely was just like, I feel like they could have made this longer, or we could have had another episode where they actually where we're like, okay, we've dealt with Quiet Zero, but that gotta go.
But now we've realized the final big bad is the Space Assembly, which technically they still were, but like you said, maybe one more episode and they could have ended it off on a better note, because like they could have made the conflict just a little bit bigger, because like, it was just like you mentioned, it was just a little anticlimactic for me. But overall, the finale was still great though, because just the emotions that make you feel, because especially after the end of that, because they sent out, so to stop the Space Assembly group from sending out another blast to destroy Quiet Zero, Suletta took it upon herself to basically connect to Quiet Zero herself. But thankfully, she had help from not only Eri, but other people in our other enhanced humans that were also inside the Data Storm. So Elon and the other two girls that we met as well.
Yeah, and then also we saw that within the Data Storm, the people who died. Well, I don't know if this is her hallucination or what, but we see that like Suletta's dad. Well, Eri's dad, because
Suletta's dad. Yeah.
I don't
technically Suletta's dad.
I just don't. I was like, I don't know. I still don't know if Suletta's a clone or not. They weren't very specific on that. So that's why I mean,
technically,
that,
I would say yes, she's a clone, because then they basically they made like 3 different Ellens. They got to be cloning that man, right?
Yeah. So Ellen, Eri, Suletta and Eri's dad was there, as well as some of the people that died. Basically, some of the people that died in the prequel episode showed up in Quiet Zero and to Suletta's mother. And I don't know if that's because her dad, I could see, because he died piloting a Gundam, but the other people were shot. So I don't know how they show up, if that's like her hallucinating or whatever. But basically, talk Suletta's mother down from seeking vengeance and being just like,
I was just about to say, the way that they conveyed it, I would like to believe that it wasn't just a hallucination. Mm-hmm. The way they conveyed it. So I would like to, especially considering how she was. We learned that she had data storm sickness, so technically she was a part of the data storm in a little bit. So I would like to think that it wasn't just a hallucination.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to.
Now, how did they end up in the data storm? Like the people besides her father, in my opinion, how did they end up in the data storm? I don't know.
Yeah, that's just that was just a very loose end to me, because I was like, how the fuck did I know how he got here?
Yeah.
How did y'all
I understand the father, yes, but the rest of y'all, especially the doctor, like, lady, you got shot in the head. They killed you. Like, they straight up killed you. Like, you went out bad. So how are you here?
Yeah, I was very much like, okay, this is weird, but hey, I mean, I still made me feel feelings. It was still a great moment.
Yeah. But
basically, so all that happened, and they ended up spreading Quiet Zero's, basically a signal, I guess, throughout like that area of space, and it ended up disassembling everything that had basically a permit link or score type of system.
Yep.
And so all the Gundams that were coming got shut down. They were able to shut down the laser, and not only that, but it also disassembled Quiet Zero, so no one could ever use it again.
Broke down into atom particles. Mm-hmm. Freaking crazy. Yeah. And then like everything just totally, like the aerial, all the mobile suits and the Quiet Zero, the facility itself just broke down into atom particles. But let's talk about that final scene where our girl Mia Ryan pulls up and then she's looking at Suletta's lifeless body and just starts crying and everything, telling us wake up. But they're playing zero audio during this time, so you're just getting raw emotions on screen right now. There's no audio, just this.
Yeah. So I just want to say this as the Gundam fans. I don't know how stressful it was for you, Ace, but for people that have watched Gundam before, we know that they would actually kill a character like that. So I was stressed to say, I was out. Well, it's time. I lost the main character, and then she woke up, and I was like, oh, thank God, because Gundam will kill a character like that. I do not.
And I'm glad you just said your perspective, because the reason why I brought that up, because how basically by them. The reason I wanted to mention this because by them making that scene all silent, you're just left with nothing but your thoughts. So basically, everybody gets like a different viewing experience in that moment, because like you're left with your own thoughts. So everybody has, everybody what they're thinking at that moment is going to be different. And so, I just love it. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
Just like you just mentioned, the first thing that you came to your mind was no, not another main character.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh man! All I was thinking was, I just know Suletta they took out my girl like this. I'm like, I just know they didn't take out my girl like this, because like her eyes were closed and the data storm. We saw the data storm rash all over her face and stuff. I was just. She gone. I can't. Don't tell me they doing me like this. But then, like you said, they woke up and I was like, okay, all right, we're good to go. We ain't got to go ride.
I was stressed, but yeah, no. So and then from there, basically the rest of the episode is that we get to look. Basically, they do a time skip of 3 years later. After the whole ordeal, the whole Quiet Zero ordeal, and also the transferring of the Bender Group funds to Earth, to support Earth and stuff like that. And we get to see basically Miorin is still out there trying to right the wrongs.
The good fight.
Yeah, right the wrongs that the Bender Group caused between Earth and space, and trying to use Gundam Inc. for good, providing basically medical needs and other resources to Earth.
I was just about to say we got to see that they're actually starting to put out some of their medical prosthetics like they actually said they wanted to, which is dope.
Yeah, we get to see like certain characters like Elon, like the main Elon person, Elan. What? I'm sorry,
Elan.
Elan.
Ellen. What? Oh, you got me saying Elan. Ellen.
Sorry again. Look, we're bad with names. I already said this before. I apologize. But Ellen, both Ellens kind of went their own route. So like the one that we got to know is now trying to find like the areas in which one of the Gundam, the Earth Gundam pilots, like the one that died, trying to find the areas that she sketched in her sketchbook. And then the other Ellen is taking it upon himself to become a businessman and trying to work.
And then the other Ellen is just traveling around the data storm.
Yeah, one digital, one's out in the wilderness, and the other one is trying to become fucking Shark Tank,
a businessman.
Yeah.
All the Ellens doing their own thing.
Yeah, no, I just really liked this part of the episode just because I always liked seeing like what characters are up to. Besides, after once something is done, like for instance, Nico went to prison, but she stayed on top of her studies to the point where she became like a certified mechanic after she got out and could work and could still work in Gundam Inc. Guel is fully in charge of Jetark Industries and is trying to make sure that it stays on track with everything that he wants us to do with it. And then we got the big Hail Mary. Miorin and Suletta are either married or engaged. We don't get to see the wedding, but we do get to see their rings. Suletta talks about.
Did we? I must have missed that because I purposely went back to see what scene was that? Because it wasn't in that very last scene where they were holding hands.
When Miorin pulls up to the farm, I don't know if they're on a farm. It looked like
the fields. Farm. Yeah, we can say it's a farm. Yeah, so farm.
And they wave there's a you can see Soleda's hand and it like shine like
okay, it was at that scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we see that they're engaged, if not married, because they don't show us the wedding. Which, if you go watch it on Crunchyroll, all the comments are that like they didn't show us the wedding, but
which is kind of crazy. Not even just like a small steal or something, which I think is kind of crazy in my opinion.
I think it's wild too because they build up their relationship throughout the whole series, and then
like this was just not the whole purpose of well, not necessarily the whole purpose, but was this not one of the end goals for the show?
Yeah.
And like yes, we are glad and it's nice to know that they did get engaged or whatever, but like you could have showed us anything.
Yeah, a steal at the
anything. It could have been a small steal.
Yeah, still at the end, a picture of them at their wedding, whatever. But we see that Suleta and her mom are taking care of some Earthian kids, and that Suleta has a dream of opening a school, which I think is just kind of cool. As a person, like because Suleta started the journey so ignorant of just the way everything worked, and for her to for her to learn about the world and then want to teach others is just really cool in my opinion.
Yeah, and then we also learned that both her mother and her are suffering from data storm sickness. It paralyzed her mother, but it looked like Suleta was starting to recover from it a little bit. So it didn't look like, thankfully, it didn't affect her fully like it did her mother, unfortunately. But her mother's still alive, around and kicking it well. It was apparently as well, and living with Suleta too. So
and then
and
the
also
biggest reveal.
Eri, yes, the biggest reveal. There we go. Eri is still alive. She did not die.
Yeah, Eri somehow got put into. It seemed like at the end, Suleta before the data storm took Ariel. Before the data storm destroyed the Gundams and all the other stuff. Suleta had pulled Eri's consciousness or whatever into the toy.
The little charm that Miran bought
her. So, and it seems like for some reason Miran carries Eri around.
Oh, did Suleta buy that for Miran?
I think
it was one of the
that they gifted each other basically.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Miran carries Eri around. I guess on her business meetings. I don't know why. It's hilarious to me because
it's hilarious actually.
It's really funny because. Like, I think it seemed like Eri tries to give Miran advice and she just keeps ignoring it. And she was like, why do you keep ignoring your sister-in-law's advice or something like that? She gives her a hard time, but it was great. It was
yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny. It is also kind of cool because they also had some more new tech because if you saw that she had like some type of like implant in the back of her neck, something like that. I guess it transmitted her thoughts and stuff to different devices and stuff like that. But it was cool just to see how everybody was chilling, and they even showed us Choo Choo and one of the other guys from one of the other groups working on some other some shop. They didn't tell us exactly what they were. I assume they was working for Gundam Inc.
Yeah,
doing some stuff.
They were doing some tech, and also we before I forget, the school and everything was also being like rebuilt and stuff like that. And people were like basically talking about what they plan to do after they leave there, and it's just a really nice way to wrap up this series. I'll say, like, besides the anticlimax, like again, that goes to say the finale as a whole really solid. As one part, but other than that, really good.
Yes, no, I agree. Like, yeah, I just think the last conflict could have been a little bit better. Especially, I think I'm sad that we didn't get like Gundam versus Gundam, little small action sequence for our final episode. But nonetheless, it was still a beautiful finale, though.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, it was great. I think the only thing else we had to talk about. Well, these are your steps. I would let you go ahead.
Oh yes, I did. Last thing I did want to mention is the OST for this show. Top tier.
Amazing work.
Amazing. Both the intros amazing. I'm probably gonna add them to my playlist, as well as both the endings for this show are amazing.
The second ending is. I love.
My God! Every time it comes on, I start jigging.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time.
I just let that motherfucker play. Like, oh my God!
Every time, it don't matter what I'm doing. When it comes on, I gotta listen to it because it's a banger.
Indeed.
It is a banger, and I'm definitely gonna add them to my playlist here. But yeah, just the music's good. The show. Oh, I mean, and also my opinion, I do think Witch of Mercury was an underrated show that got. I mean, it's not his fault, but during the time it was released, it was a lot of other bangers that were going on as well. So Witch of Mercury kind of flew under the radar. But the series is over now. It's just 124 episode series. So definitely now you guys we're probably gonna start hearing McMillian become a Witch of Mercury saint, just like he is a Vivi Savant. So be on the lookout for that, everybody.
Yes.
So even though the series is over, this is not the end of Witch of Mercury. McMillian will keep it alive. Trust me.
I'm starting it right now. Go watch both of them immediately. Get your friends to watch it. Sit them down. Tell them you're going on a journey, and it involves giant robots. And if they don't like it, too bad. All right.
Yes. So so for the entire story that they wanted to tell for Witch from Mercury, I think they did a really good job. Essentially, they wanted to tell a story about these group of kids, but really just a mother and a daughter that were done wrong, and basically the mother leading the daughter on off after all these years. She didn't know it then. We finally see that the mother is essentially the villain and she starts a war, which basically is what she did. She's basically they didn't call it a war, but she basically started a war, essentially. And but really, it was just about it was unfortunate because that was the actions from she did. All this stems from the actions that happened in the prologue with her losing almost her life, but as well as all the loved ones in her life from the catastrophic massacre that happened in the prologue. And so I mean, something like that will make anybody go crazy. And it's kind of crazy how we did, like, there were always hints and pieces of Slutta's mom having different plans here and there, but we really didn't get to see it towards like the end, like just the reveal of it over like throughout the series, and like how they revealed it was amazing. And just the stories that they told and the connections that they made, especially between Slutta and Mirai themselves, but it just also with her, Slutta, and the friendships that that she made. She had her bucket list. She's checking off her bucket list of things that she wants to do, and just we saw Slutta going to being from a person, like you mentioned earlier, a person just basically up under her mom, did whatever her mom basically said, to become her own person.
Yeah, and
it's a really good time. It's a really, really good show.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Everything that you echo, I echo everything you say. Really, honestly, it's the series does an amazing job of starting off like big, then hitting like a small point, but just building on top of everything that it already showed, and it just continues to elevate itself, like in everything that it wanted to do, and the development of Slutta and the development of her mom's plans, and just showing you like not even just that, but like the political and business intrigue of the whole show, and how that tied and everything was great. Like every side character felt extremely fleshed out. They didn't feel one dimensional.
Poole gets a award for one of the best side characters.
Yes, but I can't even say he had I don't know if I'd say redemption arc, but like his arc in the show is probably like one of the best I've seen in anything. It just
good character development.
Yes, amazing. I really love how so where he started and where he ended up, despite all the bullshit that was put in his way. Like it was great.
Almost just as much as what Slutta was going through.
Yeah. I with all that being said, I guess we could go into our ratings for the season overall, and
for the series rather, not the season. The series. This is the series rating.
Yeah.
So all 1 through 24, McMillian, and now that you done seen it all, you done got the full story. The Witch of Mercury, what is your rating?
9.8.
Okay.
It gets the last 2 points. I think the only reason I won't give it a perfect 10 is because I felt like I said, the climax of the series was slightly anticlimactic, and I do mean that, and I do truly mean slightly. Like it could have given me a little bit more, but other than that, everything else was great. The journey I loved. I was fucking amazing.
I agree 100%. For me, 9 out of 10, 100%. Definitely some of my points docked off is the climax of the show is you gotta like we mentioned before. It's not by any means the finale wasn't horrible by any means, but it definitely it had a mismark in there, and they could have did it even not even with the action fighting and stuff like that. They didn't show us any parts of the freaking wedding. Why did we not get any type of snippets from that? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Very much so a missed opportunity. Very much so.
It's just what are we doing here? But yes, but overall the series was good. Once again, this was my first Gundam series. But it was pretty good. So I'm definitely gonna be tuning into this new Gundam series animation project that just got announced, as well as I'm gonna go back and check out some of the old series as well. Cause y'all got a fan now, Gundam. Y'all got a fan of me now.
Yeah, send me that chick, Gundam. Send me that chick. Send me that chick. But yeah, no, great series. Please, look, I'm gonna do it for you if you don't do it. But I'll tell your family, tell your friends, tell them. Winter Mercury got to be watching.
Like I said, y'all might as well go and get ready. Y'all it's gonna be random Winter Mercury outbursts from now on.
Just like with Vivi. By the way, had them watch that too.
Okay? It is now a canon event. Oh man, but yes, can't say it enough. Winter Mercury, it was a wonderful time, wonderful series. If you for whatever reason, if you wasn't watching along with us during the series, definitely go check it out. It's a good time. The pacing is actually the pacing for the show is actually very, very well. Like I didn't think at the beginning I thought the pacing was kind of a little bit fast, but now that the series is complete, we got the full story. The pacing of the show is very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they did that, and also once again the OST top tier, music for this show. I don't know how they came out with 2 banger intros and 2 banger endings, but they did, as well as with just the general OST for the in-show music as well. Really, really good. But yeah, the intros, they made 2 banger intros and 2 banger endings. Like they also popped off with the music, and then I really need to look up what studio animated this show, because this show looks good. This show looks good. It is animated very well, so I need to go look up who does this animation for the show as well. I'll get back to you with that next week, because once again, no, this ain't the end of you're gonna hear from us from Mercury. Oh man, but yeah, I'll get back to that, what you got on next week. But yeah, really good show. And with all that being said, I'm gonna hand over to our friend McMillian, who's gonna go ahead and take us on out of here.
As always, guys, appreciate you for watching this, listening. Just to recap a little bit what we talked about in the episode, Anime Expo, all the amazing news from that. Be on the lookout for more of that next week. As we have discussed, this is part 1 of Anime Expo, and then the end of Witch of Mercury, but not the end of Witch of Mercury on this podcast, because I'm gonna keep talking about it. So yeah, you will be sick of me. But without that, guys, if you want to follow along with the podcast and follow us, please hit us up on our social media. It's at Gurren Otaku on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council on every other social media platform. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let us know what you are looking forward to from Anime Expo, especially if we didn't cover it. And also let us know what your thoughts on Witch of Mercury as a whole. I would love to hear more people what they hear. I would love to hear what more people thought of Splinter's journey and the whole anime and everything.
I agree.
If for my audio only listeners, as always, appreciate you guys. Please consider sharing the podcast as well as following us. It really helps us grow, helps you share some dope content, all that jazz. Also, don't be afraid to hit us up on Twitter or anything. Let us know your thoughts on any of the stuff we discussed here today. But with all that being said, guys, you guys continue to enjoy anime, continue to look out for the news coming out this weekend, and we'll be sure to cover it when you see us next time. With all that, this is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace, guys.